The Baltimore Police Department has found themselves in a bit of trouble, thanks to their body cameras. What did they do now? Thank you for joining me on the 46th episode of the LAVA Spurt. Baltimore Police are on crack.
Welcome to the LAVA Spurt, the weekly offshoot of the lava flow. Channeling the flow of information to the libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, voluntarist, and agorist community. Brought to you by my per-episode donors. Thank you. Here's your host, Roger Paxton.
Twice in 2 weeks, the Baltimore Public Defender's Office has released police body camera footage showing police officers planting drugs at scenes and then finding them. The first time the actual act of planting the drugs was caught on the camera because the officer clearly missed the briefing where he was told that the cameras were always on record. But when the record button was pushed, it kept the 30 seconds prior to the time the button was pushed. In that 30-second window, the officer planted drugs in a back alley and then walked out to the street with his cop buddies. He then pushes the button to start the recording and proceeds to go search for the drugs that he happens to find exactly where his camera showed him planting them. Imagine that. The second video that was released shows officers allegedly placing drugs in a car. The officers searched the scene, they said, after they supposedly witnessed a drug deal. In the video, the officers are shown thoroughly searching a car, apparently finding absolutely nothing. The cameras are then turned off, but they turn on a bit later, showing an officer squatting by the car, and then after a while, the officer backs off. Then 30 seconds later, another cop searches the exact same spot that the officer was just squatting at, and suddenly, he finds a bag of drugs. As of August 2nd, 41 cases have been dropped because the credibility of these officers involved is now in question. Apparently, over 100 more cases are being reviewed, all of which are criminal cases that would have relied on testimony from the 3 officers that have been caught red-handed framing innocent civilians. The cases that have been dismissed involved drug-related felonies and weapons possessions. One of the 3 officers has been suspended, and the other 2 were placed on administrative duty. And one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life, the Baltimore Police Commissioner, Ken Davis, said that it was possible the officers had found the bag of drugs in the alley and forgot to record it, so they could have been reenacting the scene as it actually happened. What the actual fuck? If this motherfucker is really that stupid, it's no wonder he's a police commissioner. Clearly it doesn't require a high IQ to be on the police force, and this guy fits right in with that. Guys, you know Tom Woods. You know his books. You know his podcast. Now learn what he learned to get where he is today in Tom Woods' Liberty Classroom. Get the equivalent of a PhD in libertarian thought and free market economics online for just 24 cents a day while sitting at your computer or driving in your car. You can get it now at thelavaflow.com/woods. Listening to the audios and watching the videos will load you up with the facts, figures, and other ammunition that you need to feel supremely confident and come out on top when arguing politics or economics with yet another devoted socialist or neoconservative. But I repeat myself. Get a yearly membership to Tom Woods' Liberty Classroom for only $89 a year. Or like me, go for the Masterclass for lifetime access for only $497 and get tons of bonus material as well, including monthly live sessions with Liberty Classroom faculty and 435 audio-video lessons on government and history that Tom created specifically for the Ron Paul curriculum worth $250 alone. Make sure to sign up today at thelavaflow.com/woods to become a smarter and more informed libertarian than ever before. Body cameras began deployment in Baltimore back in 2016. They now have over 1,500 deployed, and they expect full deployment of 2,500 by early 2018. So the way these things work is new to these officers, of course. But get this shit. Police Department spokesman TJ Smith actually had the balls to say, quote, "This is kind of a learning and trial period, right? I think that we're going to go through growing pains." Are you fucking serious right now? A learning and trial period? Look, he basically just said, yep, we got caught, but we're still learning how to plant shit on people without getting caught with our new gizmos. So once we get through the learning period, we'll be right back to planting evidence without getting caught. Fuck this guy in the neck. You know, another interesting part of this is that in both instances, other cops are literally around watching this shit happen, and they never say a fucking word. In one case, there are 3 cops. In the other case, there are 7 cops. They act like planting evidence is normal police work for them, and I'm sure it is. This is disgusting, and I've said it once, and I'll say it 1,000,000 times. One bad apple spoils the bunch. This phrase doesn't just mean that there's one bad apple. It means that that one bad apple makes all of the goddamn apples in that bunch bad. And this is the exact case we see in our police forces today. The Baltimore PD has been dealing with issues for years. So much so that in a 2016 U.S. Department of Justice investigation, they uncovered widespread abuse in the department, saying, quote, racially disparate impact is present at every stage of the Baltimore Police Department's enforcement actions, from the initial decision to stop individuals on Baltimore streets to searches, arrests, and uses of force. These racial disparities, along with evidence suggesting intentional discrimination, erode the community trust that is critical to effective policing. That DOJ investigation was prompted by the Freddie Gray case, where 25-year-old Gray died in April of 2015 after sustaining a spinal cord injury in police custody after being thrown into the back of a police van without a seatbelt as required by department regulations. Every single one of the officers in that case either had their charges dropped or they were acquitted. The only thing that can be done with a bunch of rotten apples is to get rid of them. We need to dump government police forces and replace them with private organizations that are paid for directly from who the consumer should be, not politicians, but by you and me. Organizations like the Detroit Threat Management Center and other private security groups prove that it can happen. As a matter of fact, there are more people employed in private security today than there are in government police forces, so don't tell me it can't happen. The problem is that the government wants to keep their monopoly on force as much as possible. My answer to that is smash the state. Until next time, keep striking the root.
Thank you for listening to The Lava Flow at thelavaflow.com. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe now at thelavaflow.com/subscribe. This has been a Pax Libertas Productions podcast.